So that's me. My name is Samit Shetty. I'm the Senior Solution Engineer with Autodesk Media and Entertainment vertical. And all those who have heard of Autodesk earlier has always heard of Autodesk as a software company which develops softwares for powerful 3D content creations like Maya, 3ds Max, Arnold for rendering, Flow production tracking for production management, and so on. Now, everyone is moving into AI. So why not we? But we are not creating an AI platform which will be our final output, as CV sir said. Once you have an AI output which gives you an output, if there is any change, you have to work around and around and around. Nobody talks about the credit which goes, which goes around after so much of iteration. So what we do is something very different, which will actually empower the artist in their creative process, and that's something which we have taken an initiative, which is Flow Studio. Earlier, this was called as Wonder Dynamics. So I'll just play an AV. Let's see what Flow Studio can actually do. So you must have got an idea what Flow Studio does. It's an AI tool which allows you to capture motion from videos. And from that, you can bring your captured animation into your regular DCC to do the rest of the fine tuning. Like as sir also mentioned that you need the artists to actually do the fine tuning because AI cannot do everything. For that, you bring the assets into your DCC, your regular DCC, and then do the fine tuning because AI maybe can do 70% or 80%. And what matters most is the HI part, that is the human intelligence, that's the 30% or whatever 10% which the artist can implement to your final renders. So what does Flow Studio do? As I said, it will speed up your process of maybe motion capture and various other things which I'm going to talk about. And it gives the artist the entire creative control because you're not delivering the output from your AI tool. In fact, you're bringing it back inside your preferred DCC, right? And at the end, if you want to fix pipeline, you can still do so. So how does it work? You upload your footage on the Flow Studio platform, process it. Once you process it, you get your human IK with the motion, the animation. You bring it inside your preferred DCC. It can be Maya, it can be Unreal, it can be Blender. And then you do whatever fine tuning you want. You want to change the animation, you want to change the movement of it, you want to change the environment of it, do the lighting, change the background, and export it like a regular traditional output. Where are you saving time is the entire animation capture process. Now this is the process. You uploaded the video. There are two characters. He's actually the founder of Flow Studio, Wonder Dynamics actually. You can identify both the characters. Flow Studio allows you to identify up to 6 characters. The only problem is they should not overlap each other. If they overlap, then it's better to shoot all of these people separately. Flow Studio not only gives you the motion capture from the video, it gives you even the camera track. For example, if a cameraman or a guy who is handling his camera with or the mobile or whatever is moving, and you want the entire camera match move also to be taken inside your preferred DCC, this will do that as well. So you not only get the animation of the character, but also the motion of the camera. It can also give you a character pass render. Now this may not be the final output, but this is a very good pass to give it to your directors for approval, saying, hey, this is the first kind of animation which we have done. If it looks good, I can just proceed further. So this can be a very good tool for previs also, because most of the cases in previs earlier, we used to have a static robotic guy not walking but sliding, just to show that he is moving from here to there, because who would animate that person, right? But here you just have a video, use that video as your animatics, and you're done. It also gives you a clean plate, so it removes that character from the foreground and gives you a clean plate in the background, which you can use it for previs or other stuff. And if you want to do a rotoscopy of a character, which means you want to exclude that character from the background, it will also give you a matte, and you can export your 3D file as its DCC to any preferred DCC tool. Now this is something, he is my colleague based out of Japan, and he created something at his house. He recorded himself, he shot himself, we exported it to Flow Studio, we brought it inside Maya, and this was used for an industrial workflow where he wanted to show that how humans or how robots or whoever are lifting the equipments and placing it somewhere else. So this can be a previs also. If you want to get into production, before going to production, you want to create something like this, which gives the entire unit an idea of how the entire process will look like that at the end. Fantastic tool. Again, this scene was shot like this, and that's a 3D character which took the animation from there. Of course, the girl is not flying in the air because we didn't have the budget to hook her up and make her fly in the air. But this is a manual animation. From there, you can just take it up and make her fly. So Flow Studio was earlier called as Wonder Dynamics, which Autodesk acquired 2 years back. And the speciality of Flow Studio was to capture animation from a live video. But what did we do with Flow Studio later is we introduced a couple of more tools inside Flow Studio, which is text to image, image to 3D, and text to 3D. Now we know what this process is. I don't have to explain what text to image and text to 3D means. But the only problem is you guys have explored in various different platforms, right? What if you get everything inside one, where you create image, where you create the same image into a 3D object, and that 3D object you animate it and bring it back to your DCC. So you're not going around multiple places. Everything is a one-stop shop for your animation output. So let's see what Wonder 3D is all about. Wonder 3D can create 3D elements from the prompts which you give. So in case if you give a prompt that I want to create a lamp, I want to create a shoe with blah, 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 this, I want to create a mobile phone, this, it just gives you the 3D model out of it, which is available inside the Flow Studio. And this one tool inside Flow Studio is called as Wonder 3D. All you need to do is give your prompts there and decide on what you want, what textures you want, and it will create a 3D model for you. Now there's one very much, one more interesting tool which is called as AI rigging and neural render. Now if you have created a 3D character using your scripts, you would definitely want to rig them, right? And the most difficult part I feel is rigging, because you need to know and understand the know-hows of how do you rig, how the joints will function later on, and things like that. So we've introduced something called as AI rigging inside Flow Studio itself. So we know that we can create a character because we've seen that Wonder 3D can create characters. And if you want to rig the character inside, this is something which I was just testing day before yesterday to show it to you guys. This is Panda, okay? And I want to give some bones to the Panda character so that I can animate it. So when you select the characters, Right now it's biped. You can see the pink line in center means my character is aligned properly. There is no disalignment in the bones or structure like that. I can just move and make it fine. All these dots are joints. So you know where the hip bone is, you know where the shoulder is, you know where the wrist is, you know where the toe is, everything. You can see the color code is mentioned along with the names of it. So all you need to do is just make sure you know where our wrist is and where our hips is, right? So it's not a big science to identify them. And once you do that, it's rigged, right? And you can animate it. We know how to animate because you just feed a video and this character will catch the animation from a video. So the next process, assume that I've done with it. This shows that this is rigged. This is not the animation which I provided. This is a default rig. If you create your character and rig it, it will run the same way because it's a default animation showing that, okay, the rig is fine. Now what do we do is the small running icon on the first thumbnail shows that this is rigged. Now I go to the Flow Studio, the traditional one. I import a video. It can be mine, it can be anyone else. This guy was an intern when he joined Autodesk, so we exploited him. I made him act. I said, you walk from here to there, I'm going to shoot you because I want to create a demo video. All right, so he's the guy, and what is he doing is, I brought the character of the panda, the furry panda. I'll tell you why I named it as furry panda. I scanned the video where I can find the actor, and then I assign the character, that's my 3D character on him, and it starts scanning. It's identified the character, and now next step is to select and identify what all do you want from the scene. There are so many features which you can switch it on and download, which means you want an AI motion capture data only. You want a Maya file, you want the camera track, you want neural rendering. I switched on the neural rendering and I switched on the Maya scene file also because I don't want the output to go from Flow Studio. I want to bring it to Maya and then export it from there because my artist is going to further work on it. So this is how my intern started looking like. Stop. The scale doesn't matter because he was thin, this guy is fat, and if I want to act like a panda, I would walk like a panda, not like a human being because I don't want my hands and legs to get inside me. But the videos were different, it was not shot for this purpose, I was just trying it out. Now, I can go back and show you the quality of this. This does not look like a final render output. Okay, it looks badly textured because it has pixelated textures and things like that. Now, because I had switched on neural rendering, now neural rendering is one very interesting thing. I won't say this is the final rendering what we achieve inside Maya with Arnold and all. But if you want to achieve something which is even better than your Playblast or your gray renders, neural rendering is one very cool thing. So you can see the output quality of this with fur and all, right? Much better than what we saw in the previous one. So this actually generates fur and that softness in the fur and things like that to generate your animation. So if you're not doing a feature film which will be telecast or which will release in theaters or maybe Amazon, Netflix platform, but you're doing your YouTube shows, you can do much better things than what people are not able to do with limited resources, limited artists, and limited budget, right? So that's something which is available in Flow Studio. Now, what we also did is we also have the support of Nano Banana and Nano Banana 2 within Flow Studio. Now, we all know, anyone who does not know what is Nano Banana? Only one person. So I know you'll ask me questions, we'll hold it for later. That's Prasad, by the way. So Flow Studio has inbuilt tool which takes you to Nano Banana but does not let you go outside the platform. It makes you remain inside the platform. And what you can do is create some fantastic images with Nano Banana, right? So here you give a prompt that create a realistic woman with this, that and all. You have options to create, select what do you want to select, which platform do you want to select. And here you go, this is what you have created inside Flow Studio using the Nano Banana in the background. Now this one you want to rig or you want to auto rig. We just saw how we can do it, and yeah, you can just rig the character. What you did is you created an image from Nano Banana, made it to 3D, and then rigged it, and then you maybe put your dance video and then make that 3D element dance like how you want to. We also added Trellis 2 to support text to 3D. Now Trellis 2 is from Microsoft, and they have tons and tons of 3D assets, the AI created 3D assets. That is also available inside Flow Studio now. So if you want, give the prompt that I want to create whatever from Wonder Studios, so you can go to Trellis 2. So creating 3D elements inside Flow Studio has become absolutely easy now. Earlier we used to be depending on the traditional 3D softwares. Of course, it's still used to create your complicated stuff, but if you want to create elements for your 3D scene, you can use this, create them, and bring it back to your DCC for the further process. So there are various you can say, tiers of Flow Studio. There is free for the students to try it out. You get some credits free which you can just experiment with. There is Lite, Standard, Pro, and Enterprise. All of them have their different features and advantages. You can just check them out on our website. Anyone who wants to try it out, please, you can scan this QR code and feel free to try it out. If you have questions, there is a forum there. You can ask questions. The Autodesk team will be more than happy to help you out. And if anyone who ever thought that I want to create an animated movie, but I don't have the budget, I'm not Pixar, I'm not Disney and things like that, but I have a good story, here's your chance to at least start. And there are so many film competitions where you can participate and try your luck. So if you want to try, this is the QR code. Please feel free to try it out and give your feedbacks. So with that, I would like to end my presentation.